friends, I hope you're all doing well. We have been tagged several times for the ladies survey, so I am going to tackle that now. I have a huge list of favorite female YouTubers, so much so that I know I'm probably leaving someone out and I can't name them all. So I have a big list here. Links are in the doobly-doo below. Please go check some of these people out. Some of my favorites, in no particular order, are Amy of Good Evening, Sarah from Curious Cookie, Laura from Winged 20, Mika Kitty, Nana Lou, a Community Channel, Daily Grace, Felicia Day. The list goes on. So if you haven't seen some of these people that I've linked below in the doobly-doo, please go check them out now because they are awesome. I really don't watch a lot of sports, and the sports that I do watch are men. You know, I watch basketball and I watch football and things like that. But I do teach a lot of female athletes, so whatever season it is, I'm always rooting for one of my students. I have a lot of these too. Some of my big favorites that I cannot wait till new books come out are from Patricia Cornwell. It's the Kay Scarpetta series. From Kathy Reichs. It's the Temperance Brennan series, which is also where they based the show Bones off of. And also from Tess Gerritsen, it's the Rizzoli and Isles series, which is where the Rizzoli and Isles show comes from as well. This was a tough one because I don't really look at who the screenwriters are, and I guess that is probably something that I should do, and this has kind of made me aware that I need to do this more. So to answer this question, I went on my Netflix account and looked at all the movies that I had rated a full 5 stars to. And out of that list, I then looked for which movies were written by a woman. And this was a much smaller list than I had anticipated. So some of these movies were You've Got Mail, G.I. Jane, the original Annie, The Holiday, Practical Magic, and I'm sure there's others. Some of my favorite movies had been written by women, but there wasn't really a female protagonist. So, you know, I kind of ran into that a lot when going through this list. So it was kind of an interesting question because it made me aware of something that I hadn't been before. I kind of divided this question down into categories. My favorite character from film is Dr. Jo Harding, and she's from Twister. From TV, it's Micah Baring from Warehouse 13. In books, it's Kate O'Malley from Dee Henderson's O'Malley series. If you have never read this series, it's so awesome. I keep rereading them because I love them so much. And Disney character I had trouble with because I am not a Disney princess fan. I mean, I like the Disney movies, I like the Disney princesses, but I never really related myself to any of them. So some of my favorite female characters just in general are Mary Poppins, Dory from Finding Nemo, just because I love Dory. She makes me laugh, and I think she can teach us all a lesson in that sometimes you just need to live in the moment and not worry about anything else. And I need to remember that sometimes because I stress over things a lot. So yeah, Dory probably is my favorite Disney character. I think probably the biggest challenge for women creators today is the same challenge that all women face. And that is the fact that we are going into a workplace that has been male-dominated for so many years. And I know that's weird for a lot of us to think because right now, so many of us, you know, we go to school, we go to college, we go to university, we graduate, we go into a career. And so that's, you know, that's not a foreign idea for us. But unfortunately, a lot of these careers, these jobs, these companies that we're going into were built by men to be run by men. So one of the biggest challenges that we face today is trying to convince these companies and these men that we can do the job and still be a woman. You know, we can do this job, we can still be a wife, we can still be a mother, and do the job and do it right. And I think for the most part that idea is being pushed through, but there's still some throwbacks that still think men should be the ones doing all of the stuff. So I do think YouTube and online video are better in starting a revolution, if you will, because you can't change people's minds overnight. You have to start small. And so you get your message out to a small audience, who then gets it out to their audience, and they to their audience, and so on and so forth. And it's a ripple effect. And it's easier to share that information, and you know, if it's online, that your original message will get through, or as close to it as you can. If it's on television, if it's in the media, that may not be the case. I mean, look at the Olympic opening ceremonies in the United States. I mean, they didn't show the terrorism section of the opening ceremonies because terrorism isn't pertinent to U.S. citizens. A, don't agree with that, and B, I want to make that decision for myself. I don't want anyone else making that decision for me. So I think online is definitely the way to go to get your original message to as many people as possible. I think just spreading the message about everything that's available to women and to people in general online. Amanda, you and I actually had this conversation yesterday at lunch about how much we thought we knew before we started this YouTube channel. And now that we're in this online community, I know I personally, and you said you did as well, we've learned so much more than we thought we knew already. You know, you were the Harry Potter fan, and you've found other communities, and you've gotten so much more into it because you've found this community that has given you the information and given you the support about the things that you love. So I think that's one of the things that I try to get across to people is you can find something that interests you in any of this stuff. I mean, YouTube, Twitter, whatever the case may be, and you can find a place there. So I thought I would share a little baby Amanda Jilly story with you guys. And Amanda, I don't really know when exactly this was, what year it was. As many of you know from our previous videos, Miss Amanda and I have known each other since the 2nd grade, since we were about 8 years old. So we have a lot of history. And one of the things that you have to know about us, I mean, it's in our channel name, we are nerds. We have always been nerds. What I'm trying to say is we've never been in the popular group. So we made our own little group, and we created our own fun on the playground at school. And one of those things that we did, I have no idea why we did this. We were weird. I don't know. We entertained ourselves, though. We had a blast doing it. But for several weeks, and this did go on for several weeks, we were all members of Amanda's Weirdness School. And every day on the playground, Amanda would teach us different ways of how to be weird. And I don't remember any of the lessons that you taught about this, but I do remember that for graduation, I had to go up to, I think, 5 different boys from our grade and just walk up to them and tell them that they were weird. And you were kind of standing off to the side to make sure that I had done it. And for many of these boys, it was probably the first time that they had ever heard me speak, because I did not talk at that point because I was so shy. So yeah, that, and if I do remember correctly, you even gave out diplomas for those of us who did complete the mission. But yeah, we were little nerds way back then. So with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and I will talk to you later.